So for this morning's Diaspora Check-In, we're catching up with Detroit Pistons basketball player Isaiah Stewart. Born in New York to a Jamaican father, Isaiah has always embraced his Jamaican roots, I'm told, both on and off the court. Now, we kind of wake him up early this morning because he played last evening. He won last evening also, but he will share how his heritage influences his life, career, and even his game day rituals. Good morning, Isaiah. Really great to have you on Smile this morning. How are you?
Good. I'm doing great. Good morning. Appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, man, it's our pleasure. I think you're an hour ahead of us now because the time would have changed. But do you get up this early usually?
Oh yeah. I'm usually up this morning, getting ready to head into practice and, start my day.
What time is practice?
I usually get to the practice facility around 8:30, start the day off.
Okay, beautiful. Tell me about the Jamaican connection. I've already said that your dad is Jamaican, but growing up, you obviously were not born here, and I was told that you came here recently. But growing up with a Jamaican father in the United States, what was that like for you?
Oh man, it was I would call it a blessing, having, a Jamaican father growing up. My pops was hard on me. He raised me a certain way. And, he took great care of me. My father worked hard and, I was able to watch that growing up and, I picked up on all his traits.
What kind of traits?
First and foremost, I would say hardworking. My father is a very hardworking man. He came to the States. He started with doing, farming work. And, he made his way up to New York where, he started doing construction work. And, as a young kid, I grew up and watched my dad, get up early every morning, to work hard and, come home and, he would be tired. But, I picked up, that great work ethic, from him. And, I appreciate him for that.
Yeah, you played other sport. I think you also played, well, you guys call it soccer. We call it football. I think you played a little soccer, but 6'9", Bridget, 6'9" is not a short fella, eh? When did you decide that you wanted to do basketball?
I want to say probably like around the 5th grade, I decided to, to really play basketball. I started out in different sports, obviously, with, football, did boxing, and then, I did transfer to basketball and just put all my focus there.
You did boxing?
Oh, yeah, I did boxing as a kid.
Were you knocked down or were you knocking down people?
Well, no, I was getting in some good work, good sparring and stuff. But, before I can even get to the level of, getting to a fight, I gave it up and, put my focus towards basketball.
Yeah. What would your upbringing or how would it have helped you being a professional athlete?
What, man? It helped me tremendously. It shaped me, helped me become the man I am today. Like I said, having a Jamaican father, that's someone who's gonna be with you every single day with, just trying to, build you up. And, obviously, like I said, growing up, watching him work hard, that right there just shaped who I am. Being a hardworking man and, having a great work ethic, it just helped shape me. Always being around that side of family as a young kid. I was raised by my father, so I was always around that side of family, and it definitely helped shape me. Yeah,
you wear the number 33. There was another Jamaican player who wore that number for the New York Knicks, but he was born here in Montego Bay. You were not. Is that the reason you wore it 33? Because of that center?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I wore 33 growing up because of Patrick Ewing. That's my guy right there, great person. He recruited me in college when he was the head coach at Georgetown. So, me and him have a great, great relationship. He's a great guy. And, that's why I wore 33 growing up, because of Patrick.
Yeah. In preparing for this, I read where you had a little argy-bargy with LeBron James. What happened there?
Just, tempers flaring. I was early in my career when, I want to say I was my second year in the league, but things happen. You learn from it. You move on and, become a better man because of it. And, you could look back sometimes at it, and just laugh and, be happy and thankful, you grew from it.
Yeah, you were drafted in the first round. Was that a surprise, or did you know of your quality from very early and that did not surprise you?
Oh, no, it didn't surprise me. Truly, I felt I should have been, drafted higher just because of, how competitive I am and, playing against those guys that was in that draft class. But, no, it was no surprise for me because, I put in all the hard work and, that was my goal. And, thank God it came to, fruition.
Yeah, 6'9", power forward, center, toughest defender you would have played against. Tell me about it.
Toughest defender? I'm not sure, to be honest. I know me personally, I feel I am the best defender, in this league. So
I like that. There's another Isaiah that played for Detroit. He was an outstanding player. How might Detroit do this season? How are you guys doing now? And when you look down the road, what might happen later on?
Well, right now we're sitting, I want to say we're the 6th seed in the East right now. So we're slotted for the playoffs. We have about 10 regular season games left. So just, want to finish out these last 10 games strong. So, we'll be looking at a first round playoff series.
Think you could go all the way this year?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, that's why we do it. We don't do it to, just playing the first round, second round. We're coming into the playoffs to go all the way. So, that's our goal. That's our mindset. And, that's what we plan on doing.
Brilliant. I said earlier that you came to Jamaica recently. What was that like for you?
Man, it was great. It was great. It was such a great time. That was my father's first time back. I want to say in 30 plus years. He got a chance to take me to, that picture right there is where, my grandparents' house used to be, but now it's just like, Bush, took it over. But it was great. He took me through his old neighborhood. He got a chance to see his friends who, he didn't see in, a very long time. And I got a chance to, meet a lot of family. So it was a great trip. We enjoyed it and we had a great time.
Yep. Any thoughts of having your retirement home here in Jamaica?
Oh, yeah, for sure. That got to happen. I always got to come and, touch the rock, every off season. So for sure. Brother,
good to see the eye. See it?
Yes, sir. Respect.
You did understand what I just said?
Oh, yeah.
I love it. Great to meet you. Keep doing what you're doing. I can tell people now that I know this big-time basketball player in the United States and tell them we're friends all of a sudden. So good luck. And yeah, hopefully you will go all the way. Outside of Detroit, who might take it this year? I know Lakers made that big trade. Are they in the mix?
Oh, yeah. Obviously you have the Lakers. You have a team like Oklahoma City, Cleveland, Boston. So, it's definitely some good teams. Denver. So, we got to get past them, though. We got to get past them. So.
Well, truth be told, because of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I'm a Lakers fan. But now that I know you, I'm a Detroit fan. All right?
That's what I'm talking about.
All right, so don't make laugh and go back to Lakers doing us. I better win. Great to meet you. God bless you and the family. And say hi to your dad for us. All right?
Yes, sir. Bless.
Yeah, man. Blessing. Detroit Pistons basketball player Isaiah Stewart. That's it for a Diaspora Check-In. Well, after the break, we segue into discussing real estate scams in Jamaica. Okay, so come.